All right, let's talk about February. It is Monday, February 3rd. And, I jump to the money calendar and I talk about this about once a month. So here we are coming into February. What is the money calendar? It's a seasonal way that I look at the market. What we do is we take a look at, you take the thousands of stocks that are out there. I like to drill them down to the top 325-ish of stocks and ETFs. And we take those top 325 and we're looking at them with about a minimum of 10 years of data, but I look at 20 years often as well. So 10 to 20 years of market data. What we'll then do is we'll sort on those and we'll look for bullish and bearish patterns. They have to have 10 years of a minimum of 10 years, and they actually have to have a minimum of 90% accuracy going forward. So from there, what I'll do is I'll look at this as a calendar. I'll click on the date that I'm interested in. It brings up a list of stocks for me. I can then look at things like, how long do I want to hold this trade? How long does that 90% or better pattern last? When is its end date? That actually helps me pick an option as an option trader. I also look at how far it's likely to go. What's that percent return look like? That percent return in that accuracy column tell me how accurate it is, how far it is likely to go on average. And then I'll pop in and look at something called power meter. And that gives me an idea of whether that trend is getting better or whether it's getting worse over those last periods of years. February, when you look at the calendar, it actually looks pretty bullish. However, when I dive into February and I start to look at it for more than what it's worth, I get a mixed bag, right? Now, what I did was I took a look at all those stocks for the first week of February, and I jumped in and said, let me re-rank them by power meter like I always do. And the power meter is all the way over there to the right. These are all positive power meter stocks. There's some negatives in there, so I discount those. It has to be a positive power meter. It doesn't have to be positive by much. And what you can see here is new skins at the very top. New skins at the very top. Now, these are red. What does that mean? The reds all mean that we have bearish opportunities that are happening. That means that between now and that end date in the future, that these markets are poised to run down. No guarantee they're going to run down, but 9 of the last 10 years, new skin has actually moved lower. 9 of the last 10 years, candy has actually moved lower. Number 3 on the list is PWR, right? PWR has actually ran higher in the last 9 of the last 10 years. Then I've got some interesting ones that come up. Baidu, Tesla, Loco. Baidu is a Chinese stock. Interesting. It's the Chinese, what do we call it? The Chinese Yahoo, the Chinese Google. But Baidu is potentially runs lower on an average of 4.71% between now and what is that, the end of March. And then there's Tesla on this list as well, right? Loco's on here. You got STLD, NOC, Lululemon, and CTRA that round out that top 10. As you can see here, it is a mixed bag. So what I was showing you is that when we look at that calendar for February looks all green. That's because the majority of what I'm seeing on the calendar is green. But when I bring that top 10 up and I rank it by power meter, it's a mixed bag, folks. All right, I'm going to pick one of these off the screen and just show you a little bit more, and that stock is Tesla. The daily chart of Tesla shows that since the election, Tesla's run up from below $250 a share to above $450 a share. It's kind of clocked in down here just below 400 was the pre-market this morning. I see 380 as support. You can see the support there at 380 with what we saw in January, mid-January, and end of January. Kind of got in that area there, and then we're coming back down again as of the pre-market this morning. We get below and close below 380. The next support level comes in down here around 335. So pretty substantial drop there from 380 down to around 335. 350 is the target. based on what the money calendar has told us for 9 of the last 10 years. So there you go. The takeaway, folks, is this. Just because we see a seasonality, when you look at seasonality in the overall stock market, February has been kind of a mixed bag. When you look at seasonality on the most popular stocks, it leans to be toward the bullish side. However, when I look then back at the stocks that are really making the money, it's a mixed bag between the bulls and the bears.